Hello, my name is Nabila Cruz. I will be presenting you page 24 to the 34 in English of the book Professional English in Use. Infection. Hay fever. A medical student has made sign language notes on a case report. Case for 40, 45. A 24-year-old man present with a fever which he had had for 3 days. On that year, he had a severe attack of fever with a sweating in rigor. The only story of relevance was a happy tire 4 years earlier and glandular fever infection with a Saint Bar virus. The age of 18 years. It had returned from Africa 3 weeks previously. Fever, pyrexia, also remember PUO, pyrexia of unknown origin. Fever, also known as temperature, temperature, I think good temperature. I think very, very pyrexia, apostrophe, a febrile apophyresia. Same symptom of fever, sweating, fever, severing, urinating, and sensation of cornet, also known as chills. B. Microorganisms. Infection differs from other diseases in a number of aspects. Most importantly, they are caused by living microorganisms such as virus or bacteria that can usually be identified, thus establishing the etiology early and the illness. Many of those organisms, including bacteria, are sensitive to antibiotics, and most infections are potentially curable. Unlike many infections, the negative and chronic disease communicability is another factor with different infection from non-infectious disease. Transmission of pathogenic organisms to other people directly or indirectly or indirectly may lead to an outbreak or epidemic. Finally, many infections are preventatively the hygienic, usually the vaccine requiem to prevent malaria. Microorganisms y bacteria, virus, fungi, protozoa, such as the parasites that cause malaria. Another general word for those pathogens is microbes. Patient often refer to microbes as hermits or born. Notice the common expression for acquiring infectious disease. Cold heat has convicted us some pain. Same disease from that dog. I think I be found the flu done going wrong. C. Quercy and spread of infection. There is an extract from a medical textbook. Infection may originate from the patient endothelium, usually from skin, nasopharynx, or bowel, or from outside sources, exogenous. Other often another person who may be either suffering from an infection or carrying a pathogen. Microorganisms carriers are equally healthy and might harbor the organ and the throat. For example, diphtheria, bowel salmonella, or blood hepatitis B or AIDS. Non-human sources of infection include water, AJ, cholera, mere AJ, tuberculosis, but AJ brutalis, animals, AJ rabies, beer, AJ psittopus, and also typhoid, AJ legionnaires disease. The incubation period is the period between the invasion of the tissues with pathogen and the appearance of clinical feature of infection. The period of infectivity is sometimes the infection is infectious to others. Match the two parts of the sentence. Look at A, B, and C approaches to help you. Number 18988. How the UK launch of light at 20 attenuated. Measles, pneumonia, and rubella, MMR vaccine. Number 2, chickenpox, varicella is a common infection disease of childhood. Number 3, period ranging from 4 days to many months. Number 4. The patient remaining febrile with peak of the, the, the temperature. Number 5. He was admitted with a 4-day history of influenza type symptoms of fever with rigor, myalgia, in general malaise. Number 6. A proportion of patients who recover from hepatitis B become carrier of the virus. Number 7. The central part of Africa is in the midst of an epidemic of AIDS. Number 8. Measles rubella is known in patients during the Catarrh stage. Number 9. Lyme disease is caused the transmission of the vector from animals to man the study sick. Number 10. PUO stands for pyrexia of unknown origin. Compare the case report on the patient and a apostle look at A, B, and C. Apostle to help you. Case 45. On examination, he looked on girl. His pulse rate was 100 minutes. He had a palpable split. The combination of one fever and two rigors in a patient who has recently returned from Africa strongly suggests a diagnosis of malaria. The three incubation for incubation period is usually 10 14 days. In this case, the patient admits he had not been touched for prophylaxis regularly. The diagnosis was confirmed with the presence of 5 parasites in his blood film. Complete the sentence. Look at A, B, and C opposite to help you. Number 1, an infection which can be treated successfully when antibiotic is correctly. Number 2, another word for an epidemic is an outbreak. Number 3, bacteria and viruses are examples of microorganisms. Number 4, someone thought temperature is normal is really apreciado. Number 5, the common infection with pain barbing is known as glandular fever. Mental illness. psychiatric disorder. Psychiatric disorder can be divided into organic and functional dementia. Is a mental disorder due to organic brain disease. The cornerstone of dementia is the associated with all ages. Senile dementia, disorder in which there is no obvious pathology or anatomical changes in an organ are termed functional. Those are described below. B. Substance abuse. Abuse of a substance means using it in a way that is harmful. The commonest forms of substance abuse are alcohol and drug abuse. C. Affective disorder. There is a extract from a medical text. Same and most are similar in meaning and refer to the emotion. For example, happiness or sadness. As they tend to be used for temporary emotion and is expressed through manner of speaking, facial expression, or behavior. More is used to refer to a more permanent emotional state. The most common form of affective disorder is depression. The symptoms of which are poor appetite or significant weight loss, sleep disturbance, for example, insomnia, inability to sleep, fatigue, loss of energy, motor agitation, excessive movement, and down or motor retardation, slowing of movement and down, loss of interest in stimulate activity, the creative ability to think and concentrate, feeling that one is of no value to others or that one has done something was wrong. Recurrent down of the act or suicide, five or possibly four of the above symptoms occurring nearly every day for at least 2 weeks constitute a major depression. B. Ne- Neurosis and stress. Stress-related disorder. An example of neurotic disorder is obsessive compulsive disorder and obsession is an idea that is so persistent that it interferes with the patient's life. A compulsion is an obsessive idea that forces the patient to act heavy. unable to cope. It can lead to anxiety or fear of problems. A student attack of anxiety is called a panic attack. A other type of functional disorder. Those include behavioral syndrome associated with psychological disturbance such as anxiety disorder, disorders of adult personality and behavior, for example, personality disorder, mental retardation, delay mental development, schizophrenia, and other disorders in which there are delusion, perseverance, datably when words from ACD and above. Noun, affect, active, affective. Initiative and fear. Behavior, behavioral. Dementia, dementia. Disturbance, disturbance. Suicide, suicidal. May word combination use a word from each book to word can be used to dressing. Lose a B, C, and A apostrophe. Behavioral syndrome, a teen disorder, major depression, mental retardation, personality disorder, psychomotor retardation, sleep disturbance, sleep disturbance, substance abuse. Complete the sentence. Look at A, C, D, and A apostrophe to help you. The why a person behaves is he or her behavior. A persistent emotional stance is a mood. A sudden attack of anxiety is a panic attack. The form of dementia associated with aging is called senile dementia. A disorder when is not associated with pathological changes is functional. Anemia when forces a patient to receive unnecessary attention is a compulsion. With symptoms of depression, what this patient suffering from, look at the approach to help you. Case for one, A by C, girl or woman present to help sleeping, complaining of increasing dizziness over the past few months that she has lost interest in months. Then, then, then she was sleeping poorly and tending to make up early, but then any suicidal tendency. She was trusting and was passing urine more often. Often she was acting normally, and her range was steady. the nervous system map. A. Sensory loss. The central nervous system controls the sensory and motor function of the body. Disease of these systems therefore lead to long term of those functions. A. Function. Long other symptoms. Function. Adding the larynx and sensation feel balance. Loss. The, the stiffness, blindness, numbness, anesthesia. Once the anise, that other symptoms, pain or freezing in the hair, tinnitus, double vision, diplopia, blurry loss of visual acuity, clarity of tingling or pain, and needless para desear, definite vertigo. B. Motor loss. Motor loss symptoms and C include with weakness, loss of power, paralysis, complete loss of power, tremor, involuntary, rhythmic movement, eh, especially of the hand, abnormal gait, unusual manner of walking. Speech might also be affected, for example, with a hoarseness, a wrong, the voice and vocal cord paralysis, slurred speech, means poor articulation, and cerebral disease. C. Loss of consciousness, consciousness. Patient may describe sudden loss of con- consciousness and number of ways. I passed out, had a blackout, frightened. I had a fit, seizure, convulsion. Fit, seizure, and convulsion are all used to refer to violent, involuntary movement as in epilepsy. Doctors may say when the violent consciousness there is a passage from a textbook on the cause of loss of consciousness. The principal differential diagnosis with wet and epilepsy fit and a syncopal attack or fainting syncope is a sudden loss of consciousness due to temporary failure of the cerebral circulation. Syncope is distinguished from a seizure principally by the circumstances in when the event occurs. For example, syncope usually occurs while standing under situation of severe stress or association. association. When in arrhythmia, sometimes in compulsion, in urinary incontinence, loss of control of the bladder occur even in a syncopal attack. Thus, neither of those is specific for an epileptic attack. The key is to establish the presence or absence of prodromal symptoms or symptoms that occur immediately before the attack. Syncopal episodes are usually preceded by symptoms of dizziness and limb edema in epilepsy. People may have a warning known as an aura that an attack is good to happen. Compre the tablet when work from A, B, and C approaching. Adjective, no. Adjective, bleedness, confused, confusing, deep, deepness, disease, diseaseness, numb, numbness, liatis, liatis, osteotis, osteotitis. Main word combination using a word from each, but look at A, B, and C approaches to help you. Subdivision, prodromal symptoms, epilepsy fit, syncopal attack, urinary incontinence, visual acuity. A doctor is free to determine the cause of loss of consciousness and by 2 year old may complete the doctor question. Lo así apose en a the tablet in 26.1 above to help you. Do you lose one consuming sudden or gradual? Do you age to warning of the attack? What were you done before you pre-started? Or do you feel dizzy or feeling before the attack? Do you lose 7 control of your bladder? Do your wife notice any involuntary movement while you were unconscious? The nervous system too. The motor system. Examination of the motor system should include assessment of the following: muscle buildup, amount of muscle tissue loss, 14 of wasting, muscle atrophy, muscle tone, amount of tension, and a muscle then when it is relaxed, tone can be increased, spasticity, or decreased flacidity. Muscle power strength, coordination, the ability to use several muscles at the same time to perform complex actions. Gain the manner of walking. The first tip be below. Involuntary movement, for example, a thing or a tremor. There is an extract from a case report about a patient with a tremor. Case, case 18. On examination, hair, face, showed light or on expression. There was a tremor, a setting, male, hair ray, dry, had he had generally increased muscle tone, power, reflexes, coordination, and sensation. There, when with normal limit, examination of her gait showed that she was slow to start walking and had difficulty stopping and running. B. Tendon reflex. Examination of the nervous system normally includes testing the tendon reflexes. For example, the neck hurt when a tendon hammer, also known as a reflex hammer. The reflex may be a sense, diminished, normal, or big. The plantar reflex are also checked. The normal plantar response is a dogon movement, plantar flexion of the ventral toe and upgone toe extensor or Babinski press on is abnormal. The common is consumed with a reduced response to external stimuli. Doctor says the patient is in a common, the patient is comatose. The Glasgow Common Scale GPS score is calculated for you. Eye opening, verbal response, motor response, spontaneous to speech, to pain, known, orient, confused, inappropriate, incomprehensible, known. obeys, localizes, withdraw, inflation, extension, none. Complete the table when four words from A and B apart. No. Assess discrimination, plasticity, spasticity, equality. Adjective, assessing, diminution, flatly, spastic, equality. Adapted is giving instruction to a patient during examination of the motor system. Identify what, what the data is attempting in each case. Look at a process to help you. Eat like you to relax. Who's going to move? You are up and down. Muscle one. Can I see your heart? Muscle good and possibility involuntary movement. No, I am going to straighten. You are all free to stop me power. Can you touch my finger with your and then touch your nose? Good nose do I again when your eye close coordination. Complete the sentence. Look, look at A, B, and C. Pose in a table in 27.1 above to help you. A plastic had run limply to form a rigid angle when with the, the wrist. Brick reflex, a reflex that are stronger than normal. Muscle wasting, means the muscle is reducing in bulk. A thing is a form of involuntary movement. A kite is often used to test the Babin, Babin response. His coordination was poor. He could not perform rapid alternative movement. Addendum reflex hammer is used to test reflex. When something is diminished, hence it is less than normal. A patient, is prone to AIA and coma. When her name is spoken, she opens her eyes, but she does that no aspiration question or obey instruction. What is her GCS score? G, GCS 5, eye opening to speech 3, verbal response no 1, motor response no 1. Oncology. Neoplan. The neoplan is an abnormal neuron to tissue malignant neoplan. Many neoplants do not spring unless are formed. When speaking to patients that are generally say growth or tumor, you have a small round tumor in the bowel. A loop or a swelling is a collection of tissue or fluid which is visible or palpable, can be palpable or feel when the finger alone might be due to an neoplasm, but there are other causes such as inflammation or fluid accumulation. Patient, patient says, I have a lump in my left brain. Doctor says there was a feel palpable mass in the liver. Malignant tumors are characteristic, be rapid, ground, and invasive. The tumor may invade local tissue or may spread to distant parts of the body. Met- Metastases. Neoplasms, which are the result of metastasis, are called secondary, as opposed to the original tumor, which is the primary. We have the result of the scan no, no IN applied. They show that you have a small wrong in the prostate. Fortunately, it appears to be at an early stage, and there is no sign of spring. So if we, we remove it, there is every chance of a complex cure. Not to invade the bear is to enter and spring through a part of the body. In this process is invasion known if a tumor is described as invasive. It has the ability to spread. To spread. B. Symptoms and signs of malignancy. The symptom of malignant disease might be related to the sign and location to that tumor. For example, a spasm of pupillary lesion in the brain causes racing intracranial pressure and symptoms such as headache, vomiting, or visual disturbance. Tumor of the colon may obstruct blood, the lumen, and cause changes in bowel habits. Other possible symptoms of malignancy include bleeding, pain, and weight loss. ¿Qué es, qué es criticide? Ah, 33. They are all main present to his GP, complaining of a fineless law on the fringe, fringe side of his neck, which had been present for about 2 months and was enlarging. He had been selling Genadi unwell and had lost about five, and weight. He was also complaining of knee sweat, sweat. It had no significant but medical story. C. Treatment of tumor. A tumor can sometimes become completely removed or excised by surgery if this is not possible. For example, if it has already metastases to other parts of the body, it might be possible to destroy it by radiotherapy or by chemotherapy, the unit for 2 or 42. When a cure is not possible, palliative treatment is given, which is only intended to relieve symptoms. Complete the tablet when word from a DNC approach and related for ver no IRT. Cur excessive, cur, cure curati, excessive, excision, excision, grow, grown, grown, invade, invasion, invasive, obstruction, obstructive, palliate, palliation, palliative, palliative, palpate, palpation, palpable, spree, spree, spreading, swell, swelling, swelling, or swelling. The notes below are about the patient described and be opposed used then to put the sentence 1 9 in the correct order to make the next paragraph of the case report. Use the appendix 1 on page 8 if you need help with the abbreviation. O I C 35 37.8 on examination his temperature was 37.86. Smudge appeared 384 cm mass is R to clavicular fossa. There was a smudge appeared 384 cm mass in the ring supraocular fossa. nodes 1, 2 en diámetro palpable en both ciliar en inclinal area. There were enlarged lymph nodes in both ciliar and lingual area. O oropharynx, oropharynx and AD. His mouth and throat were normal. P P 100 means regular. BP 102 66. And his pulse rate was 100 minutes regular in blood pressure 182 is 16 C B S N A D R S and A D. His cardiovascular and respiratory system were normal. At más palpable, 3 en velo, el costal margin. On abdominal examination, there was a mass palpable 3 cm below the left costal margin. CNA and AD. Examination of the central nervous system was normal. Complete the synthetic look at A, B, and C posting to help you. The sun spray of salmon cells is known as metastasis. Recording in progress. Main symptoms of cancer such as the supporting a swallowing are due to obstruction. The apostate of painful is painless. A malignant neoplasm is called a cancer. Tumor which do not invade or metastasize are benign. Secondary tumors are those which result from the spread of a primary. If a cure is not possible, palliative treatment should be given. A palpable liver suggests metastasis. Pregnancy and childbirth. A childbirth that is expected date of delivery ADD is the date on which a woman is expected to high. Okay. Breathe to the chill. She, chill, she is carrying, carrying pregnant with. It is calculate the adding to a days or 14 weeks to the first day of the last menstrual period. LMP. Childbirth is also referred to be that of parturition. Delivery is the process of helping the child to be born a spontaneous vaginal delivery. CS is SBC is a normal delivery if there are complications. The, the baby may be delivered by cesarean section, surgically removed. A poor, a full pregnancy is 40 weeks divided into 3 trimesters. A baby who is born before this are premature and one born as adult for 14 weeks is postmature. A baby who is born D, for example, because the umbilical cord is around its knee is still born. A pregnancy may involve before there is spontaneously with with a miscarriage, spontaneous abortion, or be delivery terminated with induced abortion, termination of pregnancy. Note, the bear induced me to cause something to happen. B. Labor. The process by which the fetus and placenta are put head of the uterus is called labor. It is divided into 4 stages. Some words which are combined with labor are pre, premature, prolonged, and spontaneous induced pause labor. Presentation, representation, representation, and layer and layer. Fetal layer is the position of the fetus in the uterus. The normal layer is longitudinal and the abnormal layer is transverse. Fetal presentation refers to the part of the fetus which occupies the center of the pelvis canal in which the examining, examining figure field of vaginal examination. Afterward, the normal presentation is with the head. This is presentation Pre-presentation means the buttocks are presaring. Bridge is an old word for buttocks. At normal presentation may require delivery with forceps. Complete the synthetic look at A, B, and C approaches to help you. A baby tan is for a week before the ADD is premature. A termination of pregnancy may be necessary for medical reasons. The first 3 months of pregnancy are known as the first trimester. Fetal distress and the first stage of labor is an indication for cesarean section. It was a brief presentation and delivery was before sex. Miscarriage is another term for a spontaneous abortion. The cord was going tightly around the baby's neck, and it was unfortunately a stillborn. Complete the table with word pronoun apostrophe, a apostrophe. Bear, no. Abort, abortion. Deliver, delivery. Induce, induction. Miscarry, miscarriage. Present, presentation. Terminate, termination. Dater, bene, and SAO is presenting a patient at a weekly meeting in the obstetric unit of a hospital complex. The presentation is a correct from of verb from 29.2 above. This is Clara David. She comes to the antenatal clinic at 9 weeks, and her past obstetric history. She had a pregnancy when she was a 18, 18, which was one terminated, and another one a year later, which spontaneously to aborted. Since then, she has had three pregnancies in the field. The baby was delivered normally at 14 weeks. In the second, she had a for induction of labor at 39 weeks because of fetal distress. This baby five present as a page and was delivered cesarean section, section, section. The respiratory system. A. Con. Con is a common symptom of upper respiratory tract infection, urti, and lung disease. A con may be reproducible. The patient home up is sputum or non-productive. The where there is no sputum and protein cone is often described or as long and not productive cone as tree. Sputum or saline may be clear or white, mucoid, yellow, due to the presence of pus purulent or blood staining as in hematopoiesis, hemolysis, hemolysis. A doctor is examining a patient who is complaining of outcome. Doctor, how long have you had the cone? Mere adult. Oh, of years. Doctor, do you smoking? Mere adult. I used to smoke heavily, but I got up a year ago. Doctor, do you come up any cell? Hamilton, yes. Doctor, what color is it? Hamilton, usually yellow. Doctor, have you ever noticed any blood in it? Hamilton, no. Doctor, any problems with your breathing? Hamilton, yes. I had a very short of breath. I have to stop halfway up the style to get my breath back. The doctor why and the patient case not see you. Oh, is Noah y con si purilen. Disputo for years, no, ema, I'm busy. Occultation. That doctor is examining Hamilton check deep brain is out through your mouth good no say menacing listening to that chest why stethoscope may reveal the presence of thoughts apart from the normal brain sound. There are two main kinds of a thought crackling, which sound like hair being rooted together, together and suggest the presence of fluid in the lungs, which are more musical, so like wheeling and indicating narrowing of the airway, the sound of the asthma patient. Branding is also called wet. The soil hair wet the pleural surface and reflecting as impurity is called a pleural flood. The increasing as in pneumonia or the decreasing as in pneumothorax. As after examining Hamilton, the doctor respiratory crackles, balloon bases, respiratory wheezing. Make a word combination using a word from each but look A and B opposite to help you. Blow. Blow is tiny. Breathe sound. Pleura rub. Productive con. Vocal resonante. Rewrite the question using words that are better not to patient. Look at posting to help you. Is your is your composition? Do you come up any from on a lens? Is it a low second? Two, number two. What color is the sputum? What color is the lens? Lens. Number three, is it ever purulent? Is it ever yellow? Number four, have you ever had hemoptysis? Have you noticed any blood in it? Number five, do you suffer from dyspnea? Dyspnea. Any problems you beat your breathing? Are the forewings statement true or false? Give a reason for your where using your medical uh, uh, knowledge and A and B opposite to help you. Uh, Number one, a, a patient could have a loss from producing plant doing. A productive con is often described as loss. Number two, crackles are hair when the hair waves are not wet. False. Three, a patient who has a non-producing con-producing sputum. False. Number four, wettites are typical of pleurisy. False. Number five, a pleural root is a sign of asthma. False. The skin wax. A some type of skin lesion. Medical term, common word, theater. Macule, macule, spot not rising above the surface of the skin. Papule, spot rising above the surface of the skin. Module, long, a larger papule. Vesicle, a small blister, filled with fluid. Bula, a blister, a larger vesicle. Pustule, fill with bruise, scab, red lung, etc. on the surface of the skin. Scale, a thin layer of epidermis separated from the skin. Cicatrice, plural cicatrices, scar, a mark of the skin after healing. Naevus, birthmark, a colubrate skin lesion, present at birth. Fleshy, nose, mole, and rising broad naevus. Verruca, war, and nodule, producing the HPV. Furrucle boil, a large pustule or skin abscess. No. The leaches are often yellow from as a result of infection. Is pus if a lesion is postular, it is filled with pus. B. Rashes. A single, a single skin lesion can be regular or irregular. It's shaped when there are many multiple lesions, especially muscular or popular. The result is a rash or a spore, common language of example, the rash of an infectious disease, thus rubella. A rash is sign to erupt or break out. My life little boy has broken out in spots and rash all over his body. The frequent feature of a skin lesion are usually known. Location, size, chapter, color, type. For a rash not outcome. Distribution with the spread on main part of the body or localizing on one part only. Grouping is scattered more or less evenly spread on or in clustered small groups. Complete the description of herpes zoster extinguished vs replacing the medical word in brackets with ordinary English words used as A and B approaches to help you. One, one shingles, herpes zoster usually start with pain and soreness, then reach. Two spots, macules, appear, then develop into groups of three small blisters, vesicles, over a particular area on one side of the body. It most patients known for spots. Lesions continue to appear for 3 to 5 days. The 5 small blister vesicles become 6 with pus pustular and then from 7 scabs, fruit, and several cases there may be any scars, cicatrices of the war. 3. The excretion of the rash of rubella incomplete enough. Look at A and B opposite to help you. The spots are scattered, thick macules which appear fear vein, the air and all the forehead. The rash spread rapidly, here to the trunk and then to the limb. Location and distribution. Distribution. Here, vein the hair um, and on the forehead, then the trunk and leaves. Grouping, scattering. Type of lesion, muscule, macule, color pink, complete the nose for the rash in the photograph instruction diagnosis. Look at A and B opposite to get U. Location and distribution with the spree on the chest and abdomen. Grouping scatter. Uh, Type of lesion, small, macule with some scales. Color pink, udate, psoriasis. Complete the nose for the lesion in the photograph instructions and the diagnosis. Look at A and B opposite to help you. Location and distribution. Fellow lateral angle of the left eye. Grouping simplex. Type of lesion, nodule. Color, white, pink, basal cell carcinoma. The skin tone. Injury to the skin, there is a extract from a medical website. Mechanical injury to the skin are divided into those causing by a blood force, such as a punch from a feet, and those caused by a sharp force, such as a knee. Injury from blood from and abortion also called a graze or a scratch is a superficial surface injury involving only the epidermis which has been removed. Big vision, a scratch is linear and infinite is crashing. There's a grass involved. A wider area is brushing caused by drenching part of the body over a wrong superficie. Contusion, also called a bruising, is an injury that occurs when blood vessels and the skin are damaged. Laceration, also called a tear, is a wound involving both the dermis and epidermis. It is usually distinguished from penetrating or incisive wound by its irregular creation and relative lack of blend injuries from sharp process. An incisive wound, also called a crook, is a break in the skin. There, there, the length of the wound on the superficie is greater than than the than The death of the gun, for example, a wound caused by a ruptured blood. The depth of a penetrating wound is greater than the superficial length of the wound. For example, a stab, a stab wound caused by a knife. B. Case report. Read the case report and compare it with the illustration. Case 2. A 9-year-old boy present to the accident in emergency department after he stumbled and fell while running in a wood. He had received a blow to the head from a root and had been scratched with bushes of examination and vertical laceration. 1 cm long, long was not on the bridging of his nose whose right of the midline. There were a number of superficial scratches on the right side of his forehead. His right upper lip was neatly contused. Sore. The word sore is a popular term for many different types of skin lesions, especially infected lesions. A pressure sore is a skin ulcer caused by pressure. For example, the pressure of Lynch in before long periods, also known as the sore or the cubitus ulcer. A core score is a lesion caused by herpes simplex. Note: the adjective sore means painful, for example, a sore throat. Why the corresponding medical term for the ordinary English word and say what kind of force is involved. Look at a post to help you. Common word medical term type of force. Bruise, bruises, contusión, hematoma. Good. Mace what sharp. Grace, abrasion, blood. Scratch, linear abrasion, blood. Está wound, penetrating, sharp, tear, laceration, blood. Choose the correct word to complete the description of the injury. So, in, in the illustration, look at and be opposed to help you. There are one graph above it. The left is a brown and on the left side of the neck a two constitution to the head left side of the lower lip and three stairs to the left cheek. Why a description of the injury shown in the illustration look at A and B above and at 32.2 above to help you. There is a laceration there on the left shoulder and incisor runs a good approximately 6 cm in length above the left nipple. Complete doesn't are necessary. Look at a B and C opposite to help you. Number one, frequent changes of position are necessary in the immobile patient to prevent the development of a posture sore. Number two, he has several stabs, one in the abdomen from the neck. Number three, he was knocked unconscious by a heavy blow to the head. And number four, the wounds were only superficial and required no treatment. The urinary system. The urinary system urinary is formed in the kidneys and stored in the bladder until it is passed or voided. Patient might say, I have stomach pain when I pass water. Please. Doctors may say, are you having any trouble with your water work? Doctor, are you having any trouble with your water work? John, well, I don't tend to have to go to the toilet more often than I used to. Doctor, how often is that? John, it depends, but sometimes it is every 4 or even more often. Doctor, what about at night? Do you have to head up at night? John, yes, nearly always 2 or 3 times. Doctor, do you have any burning or pain when you pass water? John, no, no usually. Doctor, do you have any trouble handling starting? John, no. Doctor, is the strict normal. I mean, there is still a good strong flow. John, perhaps not no quite so good as it used to be. That do you ever lose control of your bladder? Any leaking or feeling? John, where per per uh, I like to be from time to time. That have you ever passed blood in the urine? John, no, never. Common symptom and their definition. Frequency. Frequent passing of urine. Dysuria. Urine or scalded pain in the urethra when passing your urine. Noturia. Urination at night. Urgency. Urgent need to pass urine. Symptoms, difficulty starting to pass urine. Urine incontinence, involuntary passing of urine. Hematuria, microscopic blood and the urine. B. Urinary. Urinary. Urinary is the analysis of urine, simple screening test of the urine. Are carried out when reagent is treated. For example, clinicity for the detection of glucose. More detailed tests are carried out in a laboratory on a specimen of urine. Typical specimens are a migraine specimen and CU, and a catheter specimen. CSU microscopy examination may reveal the presence of red blood cells, blood cells, or cats are solid bodies forming the protein or cell. Blue scenes are used in case not to indicate as normal in the a small amount is described as attractive for a larger amount. The word gross or market can be used for example gross hematuria when there is nothing. The word is common. Sugar milk, protein sweet, blood sweet. There was no sugar, a trace of protein, and gross hematuria. Look at the conversation in a person and complex the note about mere journey using medical things they're possible. See? Who? CO1 frequency and to know for one no three dysuria or for syntactic. Five string a little water, water, water. No continence apart from a functional sea dribbling. Match the patient description of the symptoms. 1-7 when the medical care AG. I G is at a opposite to her. I have to be every half your whole or two frequency. I had I started playing with I pass water to Syria. I have to head to several times to pass water at night, Noturia. I have to rush to go to the toilet urgently. I can't hold my water, incontinence. I pass some blood and in my urine, I am Noturia. Why the doctor question for a act of the symptom in three symptom in 33 above. Look at a post to help you. You will need to think of your own question or for urgency. Describe the finding of the laboratory report in words. Look at the opposite to help you. There, there was a trail of blood, gross proteinuria, and nothing. Basic investigation. A. Ophthalmoscopy. Ophthalmoscopy uh, allow the doctor to examine a part of the eye, the, the iris lens, retina, and a thought optic disc for best result. The examination is done with dimming or lowering lens to allow the pupil to maximally dilate, or with a topical nitrate solution may be applied to the eye to eye dilation. The patient is then asked to on attaching for the duration of the test. B. Blood pressure. A physiomanometer, Gauge, Cruise, ARPS, stethoscope, GPS, bell, diaphragm, elbow, valve. A stethoscope is used to hear the sound of blood flowing back, back from the artery. The first trumpet stone is the systolic blood pressure is decreased when the thumping sound is no larger here than the diastolic blood pressure (DBP). C. Sucking blood. During venipuncture, the phlebotomy or technician who sucks blood inserts a needle into a vein in which rounds blood into a specimen tube, which is sent to the hematology laboratory for analysis. Usually, the phlebotomy can fit a vein in the inner part of the elbow, the antecubital fossa. That is easily accessible. She may apply a tourniquet, a thin bag avoiding the city, or the patient may be asked to clench their hands to make a fist in order to make the vein more prominent. Uh, Afterwards, the patient may be asked to press lightly on a dressing, usually a piece of gauze, to help the blood to clot and to prevent swelling, and hematoma, a black and blood mark, or a bruise. There, there, the vein was punctured. No, a bruising is a specific mark. Bruising can be used to describe a number of bruises or a larger area. The patient exhibited bruising on the right forearm. A doctor is talking to a patient during an ophthalmoscopy match the underlying expression. The using one for two expression with similar meaning from a positive A B. Three mere goal because you be bien high this dash. I am going to have a look at your eye to where me will match is easier for me to see the retina as after a few minutes, you might think your vision a bit blurry. This will wear off after about an hour. 3. I need to get rid of as much external light as possible. This means closing the blind. No, I think like you to for you try uh, agent at Duncan. Decide a few minutes in your eye ma me feel a bit serious. So you can blink if you need to. I don't want you to look at me look that close. A, the examination is done with dim light 3. B, a topical mediatric solution 1. C, to eye dilation 2. D, fíjate on attached 4. Complete is a complete the instruction look at the opposite to help you. Whereas the course around the patient's upper arm. Place the diaphragm over the area of the brachial artery. Raise the patient's artery. The artery, the brachial artery is at the same pain as the hair. Close the valve on the hook. Hook up the pressure to a length 150 mmHg. Open the valve a little and slowly. Deflate the curve wheeling, listening and watching the procedure. Wag, wag. The fear on your head is the flow of blood from the brachial artery the value on the Gawe. That point is she, crystal blue pursuing. Continue listening well, you slowly, the flat, Jacob. Si diastole, lo pressure is measured when the sun completely disappears. Complete the test, look and sit a pose to help you. One, the phlebotomists are specially trained in taking blood. They are skilled at two, venipuncture, puncturing the vein to touch a blood sample. The right heart and both can be usable. More patients may be asked to make a three piece or a four tourniquet might be applied on the upper arm to make the vein more apparent. Afterward, a side dressing is applied and the patient is asked to breathe gently. This helps to stop the bleeding and prevent poisoning. Saying that it is important that seven specimen tubes are labeled correctly before they are sent to the hematology A laboratory. Their full blood count or other investigations will be carried out. Thank you. Thank you for your attention.